We are presenting that along with the VPP restrictions here.
Okay, well,
Can you make
oh,
that
okay.
motion, I believe?
All right. Do you want, there's people in the audience?
We're not gonna be able to take comments.
All
We
right.
need to go.
Okay.
We live a block away?
I move that AMC 60 oppose the developer's plan and we communicate our opposition to the BZA.
Can the community make statements before you?
I would second that motion. Comments from the commission?
I think we should hear from the
We
audience.
we do not have the opportunity to stay in this building past 9 o'clock. We need to move.
Stand in the rain.
I'm going to make a comment again,
Go ahead.
always. We live in a city. A city has people and they move in, they move out, they come back, there's lots of people. You cannot control who has a car on your street or who does not. This is a city. If you were living in New York or Baltimore or half a dozen other cities with growing population, we're always going to have this issue. But the fact that this is a blighted piece of property that someone wants to do something about to improve a neighborhood, I just don't see the point in fighting over a parking space that the likelihood is that people are not going to even own cars. We don't know that for a fact.
That's not true.
Well, that's my opinion, and I'm allowed to state it as a commissioner.
So, and I'm also going to state that one of the reasons that I'm not in support of the applicant is that by creating a second class of citizens of the District of Columbia, those that would not be able to park on the street and would not be entitled to have a residential parking permit or visitor parking pass, is something that I think is not acceptable. We have enough issues in our city about being treated differently than the rest of the country. I can't see being part of institutionalizing a separate but equal standard where parking is concerned for our residents. Anything else from members of the commission?
I will move that the AMC 60 would oppose the applicant's application, the developer's application before the BZA, and we communicate our opposition to the BZA.
Okay. All in favor of the motion, which is to oppose the application, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any nays?
Yes, nay.
No, let's do it by a show of hands, please. So, all those in favor of the motion, which again is to oppose the application, please raise your hand and be counted. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. And how many nays do we have? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So the nays have it. The motion does not move forward.
Okay.
Is there another motion
Is there any other motion? No.
that we support?
Do we have
No, we
to
support
make a
it.
motion to support
Yeah,
them?
let's make a motion.
If you're going to support it, you have to make a motion.
I make can I make that motion?
Yes.
Or just?
You can make the motion.
Okay. I make a motion that we support this application and that we support, what else we need to support? Whatever we need. We support the application as presented by the attorney. There we go.
And that you communicate that.
To the BZA.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let's go do the hands again, even though we just did it previously. Just make it very clear. So the ayes, please raise your hands. So there are 4 nays. Oh, I'm sorry.
There
Was
were
that
5.
which?
Which way is Alfreda going?
Are you?
She's switching, she's 4.
Okay, so you're for
5 to 2.
the motion. Okay. So then
It's 5 to 2.
that's 5 to 2. Okay, so then nays. There are 2 nays. Okay, so then that is 5 to 2. So motion passes. All right, Ms. Moldenhauer gets to stay up because she's got 2 more cases which she's going to get done in 7 minutes. Okay, the first is 1522 8th Street Northwest. This is zoning relief for some very modest adjustments to this particular property.
Okay, so my name is Meredith Goldenhauer. I'm here on behalf of Rob Searle, the applicant here and owner of the property. The property is located on 8th Street. The property is in much need of renovation and repair. He has owned it for a period of time and it's a tenant, and now is the first opportunity to try to improve upon it. He had an architect go and take a look at it. There's an interior loading bearing wall that has structural deficiencies in it. And concerns, the architect has actually opened up some portions of the roof in the property and has been able to see that over the many years of modifications and improvement that they've actually put holes in different sections of the load-bearing wall, sometimes potentially to maybe pull different types of utilities or things of that through. It's caused exceptional cracking all the way through the building. You can see stretch cracks all along the staircases, especially in the kitchen and areas. There's an exceptional amount of roof leaks due to this. What we're proposing is to expand the third floor and then pull, actually, instead of having that load-bearing wall on the third floor come up onto a half third floor, to pull it all the way back so that the load-bearing wall in the center portion can then be taken out and no longer be a concern, and then have the load-bearing wall be along the rear party walls or walls and the rear of the property that currently exists. The property is non-conforming as a lot occupancy and the court. By adding this addition, which is not going to be visual from the street, this case would also go through the Historic Preservation Review Boards. We'd be back before you again later from an aesthetic perspective. We're asking for relief from, in addition to existing non-conformity, and from court requirements, because the court requirement is based on the height of the structure. So that is the case in a nutshell, and I guess the committee had voted to support it. Which I guess I'll allow that up to you, but I'm trying to go fast.
You're trying to take my job, girl.
So, in the interest of time, yes, the Zoning and Planning Committee did vote to recommend to the Commission that it support this application. This is in my single-member district, and I am in support as well. And I would move that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6E support the zoning relief sought for the renovation in addition to 1522 8th Street Northwest, and then we communicate that to the Board of Zoning Adjustment, and I would ask for a second.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. 1514 8th Street Northwest.
Let me say that this is my neighbor. Yeah, a very good neighbor.
Yes. So,
You can come up here and shake
so 1514 8th Street Northwest is a similar request for zoning relief. This is for the renovation of the former Efforts from Ex-Convicts halfway house, which is being proposed to be converted.
Yes, so the property for many years, actually was originally built in 1956 prior to the zoning regulations as an apartment building. Then around the 70s, it was converted to a halfway house for 40 roomers or 40 ex-convicts, and so that's what the property's been used for since then, over the last 30 plus years. And so what the new owner, Lock 7, and David's here to represent Lock 7, what they're proposing is they're proposing to renovate it and to bring it back to a residential use, and asking for 9 units based on the lot area permit. There's a parking issue here, but I don't think it's as large of an issue. The parking issue here is that they're asking for 3 compact parking spaces. So the requirement is for 3, they're providing 3, but because the existing structure only has a certain dimension between the end of the structure and the property line in the rear, they are, which we can see, I guess, sorry I'm jumping, here on the diagram, there's only enough space to provide an 8x16, which is considered zoning-wise a compact space, versus a 9x19. And so there was a question during the zoning committee meeting about, well, what's going to happen if maybe someone, has a massive car and tries to park their car in this compact space and obstructs the public alley? What the developer and the applicant has agreed to do is we will put in the condominium document that, the bylaws and the board of directors will be responsible for enforcing that, so people can know who to go to if there is a concern, and there would be a fine associated with that. And obviously have an enforcement mechanism just in case someone parks a big car on this compact space. Other than that, I'm going to turn it over to the architect to go through this also historic.
We're actually too pressed for time, but
also the historic preservation aspect.
Yes, so,
The committee voted to support this application. I think we should just take a vote on it. Unless there's
it's in my single-member district. I think it's uncontroversial. They're providing parking unlike the 1740 New Jersey project. So I would move that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6E support the zoning relief sought for the renovation and conversion of 1514 8th Street Northwest, and we also support the historic preservation approval for this case, and then we communicate said support to the Board of Zoning Adjustment and the Historic Preservation Review Board, and I would ask for a second.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. It's
Thank you
unanimous.
for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So, very quickly, I don't believe that Moms Against Gun Violence are here this evening. Do we have any of the applicants related to the ANC grant applications present?
Yes, the Sid is here.
Right.
Okay, please come forward.
I'll do it very quickly, to kind of express my time. I have right here just the description. And we're applying for a grant of $1,500. First of all, I'm Jerome Raymond. I'm a real estate and planning manager at the Community Improvement District for Mount Vernon Triangle. So it encompasses the area that is west of here. And it is for farmers market. If you hopefully have the opportunity to go on 15K, that is held every Saturday. It started early in the summer, and it will be held until mid-October. And we're hopefully trying to get support from this ANC to $1,500 that will help us bring some umbrellas, help us distribute flyers to potentially increase people and opportunities to buy fresh produce, and as well as enjoy a number of activities that are aimed towards children and also adults. And we are working with Fresh Farm, which has seen great success through this market, which according to our 2013 perception survey was the most requested event in the neighborhood, and that is a tune of about, I do believe, 320 people responded to that, the majority pointing to the markets as their favorite activity. And so far, you can see the response where people have really enjoyed it. And I actually have some photos that you can see right here, where you see people enjoy it. I'll pass it around if anybody's interested. And we're grateful so far to a number of people, companies, as well as landlords have contributed. Boston Properties.
Okay, I'm going to cut you off
Yeah,
because we need to act. And I know that Commissioner Maceda, who is single member district this is located, supports this. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a motion, although I will not be voting for it because I don't believe that that grantees should be able to get grants in 2 consecutive years. But nonetheless, it's the Commission's decision to take that. And so I would move that the Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6E support the grant application to Mount Vernon SID in the amount of $1,500 specifically for the Fresh Farm Market, and that payment of that grant be contingent on final approval from the DC auditor. And I would ask for a second.
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay. So motion passes. Thank you very much. Anybody else? No. Okay. So the next, the November meeting of the commission would normally be held on the 4th of November, which is Election Day, Tuesday. As a result, commissioners have expressed concern about that scheduling. And Ms. Jenkins, are you able to accommodate us on the 6th? Well, great. We've confirmed that this space is available 2 days after a normal meeting date, which would be Thursday, the 6th of November at 6:30 p.m. So I will make a motion that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6C change its meeting date for November to November the 6th, 2014. And I would ask for a second.
A second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll dispense with any other new or old business that might have been necessary. Approval of minutes for the July 1st, 2014 meeting. I'll move that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6E support the approve the minutes for the meeting with any technical and conforming corrections to be submitted. And I would ask for a second. It's been probably moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Treasurer's report.
Is it possible?
The AMC currently has $57,626.45 in our checking account.
I move that we approve the treasurer's report and ask for a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Approval of expenses.
I move that ANC 6E approve the payment of $125 to note taker, the former Karen Loveridge, to the Karen Yela. Is that correct?
Yes.
In the amount of Yela.
As long as we put Karen on there, you can cancel it.
In the amount of $125, and also to Miller Copying Service for the printing of our September newsletter in the amount of $400.
I have a comment about the newsletter.
I second the motions.
I have a comment about the newsletter.
And we will dispense with any comments related to the newsletter because we have 1 minute, 1 minute to leave the building.
Okay.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Nay.
One nay,
Property.
motion carries. Thank you very much. It is now 8:59.
Yes, it is.
And our next meeting will be on October the 7th, 2014 in this space. I would ask for a motion to adjourn. I'll make the motion to adjourn. Can I have a second? It's been probably moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
Hey, I'm so
Yeah, my husband and I were driving along and I had it at the sun visor, and all of a sudden it went, yeah, I'll send you something, but it was just. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Jerome?
Yeah.
With an E at the end.
Yes, yes.
Could you just tell Karen your last name because we need Jerome?
Yeah.
I think you guys just don't want to do it. What's your last name? I had done this prior to.
I don't know, the guy didn't come up until last minute.
I know, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
So, yeah, that was really his fault.
Otherwise, you can take it, look at it. Actually, I'll give you both copies. If you guys, and I'll sign both copies. If you sign one, I'm across the street at 475.
Yeah, I spoke to.
All you have to do is stop by and, top copy of the front desk, they'll give it to me.
Basically, the city is funded and we're doing that with full responsibility and all property owners.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. You get a copy. This one is right.
Yeah, I was worried when I saw that.
Oh, yeah. No, no,